think you guys are mistaken on one part. The people that need this interview are usually narcissists, I would imagine, usually people who are desperate to get their side of the story out, and usually people that would think that they're going to be the one that wins. I can point you to one example of this. Who the is responding to CoffeeZilla's emails or interviews? None of them are positive. You know what's coming on that situation, but people do it. Why? And the simple answer is all of these people think that they're going to be the one that is going to break the mold and be like, oh shit, that makes sense. Because they're narcissists. So I do think it would work. I think you build your way up, right? Like we didn't, with anything else, like the guest caliber that we're getting is continuing to go up and up and up as a result of that because people look at it and they're seeing what we've done. I'm not saying that we're going to start with Elon Musk on day one, obviously, but can we start with a local politician? Maybe. Can we start with someone who's going through some real drama right now? Like it doesn't have to be like politically solely focused. It can be anyone. It can be a Twitch streamer currently involved in drama. It can be someone that's running a business that just fired all of their staff, or someone that's reinventing their shit. It could be the CEO of Intel. Like, I think that's a format that's not done right today. And with the exception of like CoffeeZilla, but his shit is not interview based. It is.
That's true, but I think it's because he's doing the investigations as well. He's basically getting like a first comment, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's where I think the opening is for us to do.
But we would have to do investigations. Like for CoffeeZilla, like he's about to expose you. Like you kind of have to talk to him. If we're just hopping on drama that's already been exposed, then
we're asking questions, right? So for instance, as an example, a great person to come on to do something like this would be like George Santos, right? Like I want to get George Santos on. I don't want to give him like, it's not like a funny meme thing. It's like a real interview. So like, what happened? What really, like, what was the point of this? Like, obviously, so we know like you did drag before. Why do you even want to be a Republican in that case? Why not run as a Democrat?
Sure.
Right? Like,
I mean, listen, there's no point. Listen, there's no point arguing over it. I would do this 1,000,000,000%. If you can find the guest or find somebody to find the guest or get somebody on, I will do 1,000,000,000,000% with you. 100. And actually, you bring up Santos. We were literally in a Twitter space. He's tweeted about me before. Yeah. Reach out to that guy. Try to get him on. Yeah, we can do it. Fuck it. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is like a very good thing to do. And I think it lines up perfectly. Like one of the best memes we did was like the Ted Zwieba one. I loved that thing on startups. It started off just like getting basic information, and then we get into it, and I love it. It's awesome. Okay, yeah. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. I think that's another good thing to do. Obviously, to start, we're not gonna be able to do it once a week, but as it gets going, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, it could even just be like a special edition episode. Yeah.
No, it's not special. It's something different. It's not. I think this would not be Patreon. This would not be paywalled at all. It'd be totally free. Just
the man of the people. Wow.
For this, yes, this is different. Okay. It's not anything else thing. It would be something else. You could call it something else.
Actualize.org. This guy shouted you out today on his blog. I don't know who this is. Leo's blog, infinite insights, miscellaneous bits of wisdom and resources on personal development, life purpose, philosophy, epistemology, non-duality, psychedelics, published randomly throughout the week. Oh my God. This is a cult leader? Oh boy. He's got 104 million views on YouTube. How can he be a cult leader? What are you talking about? Oh, he's got over 1 million subs. This guy is a... Wait, he has over 1 million subs? But only 104 million views on YouTube? Wait, how many views do I have on YouTube? The fuck?
How are his views, though?
Well, 600. I bet this guy has less than 500,000 views a month. That's my guess. How am I so good? I see into the matrix and I see the numbers. I just see everything. How the fuck does he have so many? It must be an old channel or a dead channel maybe? Or I don't know. Let's see. Insight, penetrating mental vision or discernment. The sudden act of grasping the inner nature or truth of a situation. A deep understanding of a person or thing. Insights here are meant to be quick and half-baked. Consider these food for thought. I've deliberately disabled comments to keep the blog streamlined. If you want to discuss any of the blog posts, you can do so here. What is a woman? Oh boy. The following example perfectly illustrates the stark difference between low and high cognitive development. Destiny's the only one here as a clue. Ha! I like this cult leader. I support this guy's cult, actually, now. Low cognitive development. Everyone in the video except Destiny. True! Isn't construct aware, so it takes categories for granted as objective. Moreover, low cognitive development is so unaware that it can't even understand how something like a woman can be a complex, metaphysically loaded question. Therefore, it laughs at a serious answer. Wait. Okay, wait. I'm not trying to write the writer. But this is super true. A lot of people take categories for granted, and they don't have any idea that like categories exist. They just assume it's like a feature of the universe. This is something I talked about like 12 years ago. Not really. Wait. When was 2016? 8 years ago? When I did my itty bitty dipping my toe into philosophy, is that it feels like when you start to get in, all it really does, well, I shouldn't say all it really does. One of the things it does is it makes a lot of things that you thought you had a very solid grasp of a lot more tenuous. Can we say that? Tenuous. Very weak or slight. Yes. Your understanding of things became more tenuous, where you weren't as sure before, where it's like, wait, well, I thought that this was obviously this, or this was obviously this. So categories of things, especially very broad concepts, like you could say, what would I say is a broad concept? I was going to use man or woman, but I know that triggers the fuck out of people. I don't know, anything. Yeah, we'll just say that. Anything that's not just a simple physical object or any kind of like universal category. Like these things become very complicated in unintuitive ways. Like what is a cup or what is a chair or what is a table or whatever. These things can be very, like we take it for granted that like we just know these things. High cognitive development, Destiny. True. Is construct aware, so it appreciates the insane complexity and metaphysically loadedness of a question such as what is a woman, and treats a question with the nuance and respect it deserves. Absolutely true. I do. So we see in this video is one mind of high cognitive development dealing with a dozen epistemically clueless baboons who act, racially loaded, who act like they understand anything, but actually understand less than nothing. Study this example carefully to understand low and high honors, not a matter of opinion. It's not that I agree with Destiny, it's that Destiny's construct aware, at least to some degree, its construct awareness is quite limited. Excuse me. But still orders of magnitude beyond a conservative pundit. No conservative knows what a woman is, which is why they act like jackasses when talking about this question. To understand what a woman is, you would need to do 20 years of advanced epistemology, and you would still not know. That's how serious the question is. But to a baboon, it seems that a woman just sits in a vagina. Do you appreciate the devil? Okay, cute. All right, whatever. I don't know anything about this guy. But I always appreciate the random glazing.
People bought Intel stock after I did, and people probably bought CrowdStrike stock after you did.
They should. I don't make bad calls ever. They should follow me.
I'm not wrong. I'm just early, right? Is that where we're at?
My Facebook calls were good. You and everyone else shot on me for them, and I beat the market after a year when I tossed that. Okay, I'm a long buyer. I'm a long-term capital gains kind of guy. All right.
I rolled all of my stuff into two plays: $30 calls at the end of December for Intel, and then $20 calls. I think I have 100 of them for December 26th. So we got a big position coming up in December that stuff will start climbing. I'm hoping. The whole thing, with Intel, it's interesting. The company, for whatever reason, is like, we're going to just change. So up for the longest time, Intel's main shit was just making processors, right? And they were good. They were the best. They were better than AMD. Up until recently. They were the better processor across the board, with the exception probably of power efficiency. Intel was always ahead. And then they threw it away. And now the big play that they want to do is like, hey, we're gonna have our own fabs. That's gonna be our big business. We're gonna produce chips in America. And we're separating that entire thing out from like making our own processors. So I don't know. I understand that there's probably a lot of value to being, because right now there's no real US-based chip manufacturer besides Global Foundries, but their shit is like 14 plus nanometers, I believe. There's no modern chip production that happens in the United States. Intel will be the only one that does it. But it's just, it doesn't make any revenue, and it's not going to for like another year or two.